do this. Add my little mocky mock. Right. So, it's been two different forces in the talks about the birth rate issue. One of them being emphasized more than the other, and I think the reason why it's being emphasized more than the other, I'm just saying this in the beginning. I'll probably make an actual video on this, but for right now, this is on the stream. So, on one side of the issue, oh no, the birth rates are declining. That's bad because we don't have enough for replacement of the population when all the boomers die out. That's one side of the issue. The other side of the issue is, isn't the Earth technically at capacity? Or not necessarily at capacity, but like, it was theorized, and I might get the actual specific number wrong, but I'm pretty sure to live comfortably, the world population has to be around like 3 or 4 billion people, or maybe even less than that. I don't remember. I could probably look it up, but I'm not doing that. Just trust me, bro. But right now we're pushing 8 billion, projected to be, well, it's probably going to decline, but the projections used to be like 9 billion by 2030, but we don't know how true that is anymore if the birth rates are declining, which my personal belief is we have so many people in the population. That's why things are going the way they are, because people literally need to start removing themselves from the gene pool so the world can reset to a healthier state. That's why you see a lot of people going off into different ideologies and extremisms. They're at the fringes of society because there's just too much of us. That's my personal belief. You can agree or disagree. At the end of the day, we're all going to die in the next 100 years. Guaranteed. Unless they actually find a way to extend human life. So at the end of the day, does it really fucking matter if I'm wrong or right about this topic? Exactly. Oh, you uploaded it? Alright, bet. Let's see what this is. And then we're gonna get into the video. Okay, I refresh the page. It's not there. That's tough.
Are never gonna get me to give
It's
a
my
fuck about them
workout,
denying
but I
birth
only
rate.
have 15 seconds.
At women and blaming us like it's our problem. But you know what? It's actually the men's fault.
A lot of countries that are
I actively make the choice to forego getting pregnant and solely focusing on my career for over 10 plus years. And it's men's fault. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's all women's fault, because you need two people to have kids. If you can't find a suitable guy, why are you gonna just have babies, you know? Like, I understand that. But like, don't act like the reason why you can't find suitable guys just like, oh, all men are shit. That's why you can't find a suitable guy. Like, no. You're being intellectually dishonest.
That's my lease.
Huh?
I said that's my lease.
You said that's what?
My lease.
Why are you saying your friend's name? I came back and we hating on women? Hell yeah. I gotta bounce. Good night. You... We're not hating on women. What the fuck? Give it a couple seconds. We are not hating on women. I'm just saying, we gotta accept accountability on both sides. I understand, because of the higher standards, because women as a whole are doing better. So, you know, with the whole concept of hypergamy, which works both ways, if I'm a girl and I make a certain type of money and I have a certain type of lifestyle, I want a nigga who's at my lifestyle and better. That's how it works. If you complain about that, you, my guy, you are a bitch. Because realistically speaking, as a guy, whatever income level you're at, just make sure you're a valuable asset to society, and whatever girl you do get, we'll be grateful for that. And if she's not grateful, you picked the wrong bitch. Simple as that. Find a new one. Try again.
going to be literally half their size by the year 2100.
Low birth rate, that threatens their profits and influence.
You know how
That is true, but it also threatens What happens when there's not enough people in the specific age range to work a certain job? Does that industry just collapse now? People aren't thinking about that. Which is another video that I want to make about the difference between first order, second order, and third order thinking. I feel like because of social media, people are stuck in the first order of thinking, which first order thinking just means you think of the cause. You don't think of the effects. You know? Like you just think, okay, if oh no, there's too many rats here. I'm gonna release a bunch of crats. I'm gonna release a bunch of cats in the area to reduce the cat population. That's first order thinking because you're like, oh, my problem is I have rats. I want to get rid of the rats. So I get a bunch of cats. I will eat them. Second order thinking, there's a lot of rats and I want to get rid of them. A natural predator of rats is cats. So let me get cats. But oh, wait. If I have a bunch of cats in the area and there's a bunch of rats, that's going to make a new problem where all of the cats are going to have a lot of food and then just keep mating and having more and more cats. So now your rat problem becomes a cat problem. And simply that concept, when you think about it, explains every problem we have in modern society. Oh, taxes are too high. Let's reduce this thing. We reduce it. Oh no, now inflation's too high. Let's reduce this. It's literally like, oh, let's make a change. Like, but if people just took some time and think, okay, if we change this, well, how is it going to look in the next 10 years? If you can't answer the question of what it would realistically look like in the next 10 years using logical thinking and not just emotionally, oh, it's going to be good right now, so of course it's going to be good in 10 years, you're fucking retarded. Oh no, there's a drought here, let's get a bunch of water. All right. Now we're flooded. You just one problem to the next. That's all I gotta say.
Hard you need to abuse a mammal to make them not have children.
I think that human beings will have a better chance of survival on this planet with fewer of us occupying it.
See, I agree with her. That does make sense, but at the same time, you can't just bunch of old people, no young people, because no young people, bunch of old people. The old people aren't going to be able to make new young people because eggs are fucking dried up and you shooter might not work anymore. So like we got to think about it smartly. My opinion, if you're stupid, don't have kids. Natural selection, sexual selection, whatever it is, human species has strayed away from natural selection. Now it's mainly sexual selection, which is another problem because if you're only picking someone based off of how good they look and only how good they look, it's just gonna be a bunch of good-looking retarded people. Miami, Florida. Actually, the whole fucking South Florida. I can't even just say Miami. Like, there's a bunch of dumb people down here. Myself included. Pookie. I love you.
Do you really?
I mean, do I really?
Do you really?
Yes, I do, really.
Okay, had to make sure.
1, 2,
How much weight is that?
4, 5. Alright, good enough. I'll be back. I'm probably just gonna do one of these. Alright.
Oh my god. Bro. There is no comment function for me on here. That's weird. Yeah, I literally can't comment from the browser. That's funny though. That was funny. I can't even lie. That caught me off guard. That was an earned thumbs up. Alright, let me stop stretching out content for the first 30 seconds.
At least that's what they say. But we also have an overpopulation issue and the planet.
Oh yeah,
can't
there it is.
sustain us.
2.5 billion. I should have just watched the damn video instead of just talking out my ass. 2.5 billion within ecological limits and comfortably. economically secure living standards.
So
I don't know
which
how I
one
did
is
five
it then?
pull-ups
Is
that
a
one time.
population decline actually bad if we're facing the problem of overpopulation? That is exactly what I want to look at in today's very
So guys, I'm not gonna talk shit because I don't know this creator. I saw like the first part of this video and I was like, I should watch this on stream. But this is good. This is the beginning. Do you think she's going to employ second and third order thinking? Which third order thinking just means you're thinking of the long term issue. Because, obviously rats and cats, in the long run, it doesn't really matter. Or it'll balance itself out. But do you want to wait for it to balance itself out? Or do you want to fix the actual issue? Or do you want to make a new issue that'll eventually, okay, now we're on the same page. 4 pounds on each side? Okay, that's not bad. And the bar itself is probably like, what, 10 pounds? Yeah, that's not bad. That's like, you're doing like 20-pound curls at 9. That's good. Keep it up. But yeah, I'm gonna hope she does end up using second and third order thinking, because it would be a shame if you spent 25 minutes only talking about how to fix the issue in the short term, or like just picking one side and that's it.
nuanced video.
It's 4
because
pounds each side, but the bar itself has weight loadout. So you're not doing 8 pounds. You're doing more than 8 pounds.
I'm not here to convince you that you should have 1 million kids and be one of those TikTok Mormon moms that somehow pop out one every other day. And I'm also not here to convince you to stay single forever and only have a pet Labrador
I like this
as
girl
your
so
said
far.
child. I
As
simply
a creator,
want to
I love my
discuss
Pookie
the
Bear.
multiple sides to this dilemma that we're facing.
Huh?
Hey yo, welcome back to
She's
Andy's
about to come
Objective
flying
Opinion,
over here.
where
I'm
I
telling
talk
you, we watch Obsession, 1-to-1 accuracy.
No, the fuck.
1-to-1 accuracy.
about my subjective
No,
thoughts. Without
no,
further
no,
ado,
no,
let's
no,
yap.
no,
First
no,
off,
no.
before we get into the nitty-gritty of people's opinions
yeah.
on this problem, let's look at the cold, hard facts. In
Can
the
you
last
take a joke, nigga?
200
Damn.
years alone, human
Nigga, can you take my
population
dick out
has
your
grown
fucking butt?
by 8 billion.
I know you're not talking.
People. And for reference, it took all of human history to get to 1 billion people at the beginning of the 1800s, only for it to just skyrocket.
So up to the 1800s, we were less than 1 billion people.
Really?
Like think about it. When America first started, there was less than 1 billion people on Earth. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Wait, isn't a corn dog just a hot dog on a stick? Yeah, but it's covered in batter.
The next 200 years. Now, there are a multitude of reasons as to why this has happened. Number one being modern medicine. This has really nothing to do with the video, but I've been watching The Pit recently, and it blows.
That's crazy. If we didn't have modern medicine, it would make more sense for people to have more kids. Now that I'm thinking about it, because if you can sustain the life of a person who's already currently alive, is that more valuable than making new life? Obviously no, but we have too many people. That's how we went from 1 billion to we're basically past 8. I think we're at like 8.6, but don't quote me on that once again. Have you watched The Walking Dead?
Me away how advanced our medicine is.
No,
I know
I
that
only
the
played
healthcare system
I played all of the comic games, like the Telltale games, but I haven't watched the show. No.
is completely awful, and that's a
Too
whole
many
other
seasons
topic
for
for
me.
another time that I could make a dedicated video about. I'm focused on the fact that we've gotten to a point in medicine
Oh, she
where
has
we
my
can
same
prevent
mic.
things from happening that 100 years ago would have killed someone in an instant, and everyone in the family would be like, well, I guess we gotta wait till we see him in heaven, hopefully. I mean, we only discovered that you should be washing your hands in a hospital in 1847, and we didn't even
That is crazy to think about, because I remember playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and the doctor was literally making an effort to wash his hands then, but it was kind of like, oh, I have to now. Like, it wasn't something he always did. You should watch it. It's really good.
really acknowledge
I know it's
germs
really
as a
good.
society.
I know Negan fucking kills Steven Yeun's character. I forgot his name. Like, I know that much. Like, I know all the big parts, so I don't really care to watch it. My brother watched it in a month. See, your brother probably doesn't have a job. I have a job. So I can't
until
watch
the
it in
late
1 month.
1860s. That's basically yesterday. That's not many generations ago. We went through centuries without ever realizing that germs were the reason people were getting sick. We just kind of thought they just
That's
appeared
crazy.
magically. So with all of this newfound information, you're able to live longer. In the 1800s, global life expectancy was 30 to 40 years old. And this wasn't because people didn't live to old age. It
Yeah,
was because of an
infant
extremely
mortality
high
rate.
infant mortality rate, with about 30 to 40% of
So okay, he has school though. Okay, 8 hours of school versus 12-hour days is completely different things. Plus, it's summer. I don't have work off because of the summer. Like, you guys got school off, so no. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so if throughout all of human history, with 2 days off, how much days do you have off? And I have a job. Wait, I just said I have 2 days off. Why are you asking me how much days do I have off? I have two. But shite. Yeah, the infant mortality rate has always been high for the longest time. Not having it's obviously having zero kids unsustainable. But a high infant mortality rate means that people are having a bunch of kids. So I don't know if it balances itself out just because we have lower. It's kind of like with the advancement of medical technology. It Okay, bro. I just don't want to watch the show. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I do not care to watch The Walking Dead at this point in my life. So yeah, the infant mortality rate being as high as it was back then to the low birth rate now, I guess it kind of is a balancing effect. Like it might equal itself out to what it was back then. But I just feel like it's different because they still at least had some kids. But if we have no kids, there's going to be a very big gap of like not enough people be competent or strong or competent or strong enough to do certain jobs. Because like, oh, we're gonna have to go resort to fucking child labor again because there's like 15-year gap. There's like a mandatory 15-year gap between people all of a sudden because, or maybe even more than 15-year gap if we stop having kids for a long time.
children not surviving past the age of 5. Can you imagine that now, having a child in today's world, very high rate that they would not make it? Like you did all of that just for them to go bye-bye? Another important factor to the population boom was the Industrial Revolution. During this time, we came up with a lot of inventions that greatly
Just like
improved
agriculture.
your quality of life. Another key component was
I
agricultural
guarantee you, before agriculture, human race was below 100,000. After agriculture, that shit shot up.
advancements that allowed
You don't even have to look it up. Just logically speaking, it makes sense. Because more food, more people. Boom,
us
easy.
to grow even more food and therefore prevent less people from dying from starvation. You know, that's kind of important. In the 1800s, women in the US had roughly 7 kids in their lifetime, birth rate of 7%. Then in the early 1900s, 5.6 children. Today in the US, the birth rate is 1.6. And this is due to a multitude of reasons. Number one being that women are now able to make their own choices and have lots more access to birth control. So essentially, we can finally decide when and where we want to be having kids and not just like, oopsies, I guess my husband couldn't keep his hands off of me, so here I am having baby number 9. Women are also getting a lot more education and focusing more on their careers, which is a great thing. I feel like that goes without saying, but there does
I hate that I pause it at this point, so it makes it sound like I'm vehemently disagreeing to it, but I'm not. Throughout all of history, my nigga, listen to me and listen to me well. Prior to the Industrial Revolution, women were working just as much as men. And I'm not saying like household fucking, oh yeah, your full-time job is cooking and cleaning around the house. No. Prior to the Enlightenment, there were no assigned gender roles. You know, it would basically be, okay, who has the capabilities of handling this job in this current moment in the household? You do it. So if your husband had a certain type of career that doesn't enable him to do as much stuff around the house, that's just that scenario. But 9 times out of 10, everybody was a fucking peasant, so everyone was doing shit around the house or like doing different menial jobs to make a little bit of rent. So it's like Industrial Revolution allowed white women, by the way, white women, throughout all history, no matter what your skin color was, you were fucking working. But white women were able to be in a situation where there's just such a surplus in economic mobility with their husbands that they didn't have to do this, go to work and stuff. So then that became the standard. But it was only because of the Industrial Revolution. You can even see it with like different media depicting stuff in the 18th century or 19th century. Yeah. You're a farmhand, you're a ranch. Okay, you're a ranch hand. Your wife is also kind of a ranch hand, but she's doing the wifery. You're doing the husbandry. Husbandry just means tending to the animals because, you know, animals are hard to tend to, especially if they're big fucking livestock like horses and cows. Wifery would be like handling the clothes, probably even helping on the farm, like doing the hay bales and stuff if you're busy doing other stuff. But everybody was doing their equal part. Once again, Industrial Revolution made it so white women didn't have to go to work.
Seem to be a correlation between more educated women having less children. This could be because
Which is
couples
crazy,
actually
'cause
want
now
to
it's like
weigh
white
the
women are the
pros
only
and
ones
cons
getting the
of
good
raising a
jobs while
family
everybody's trying to
before they
scramble
just
to get them.
gung-ho into it. Whereas in the past, there wasn't a lot of forethought. It was just kind of the expected thing to do. But here's the problem, because all of this so far sounds great, right? Well, in order to sustain a population, as in see the numbers stay steady and not decline, a couple needs to have 2.1 children. Now let me explain that number. When I first heard it, I was a little bit taken aback, like, why do you need 0.1 children? You cannot have a fraction of a child. At least I don't think so. Well, in order to replace a mother and a father, or a mother and a mother, and a father, you need 2 children. 1 child per person. The 0.1 comes into play when
I understand why she input that just so her general audience can feel included, but like it's just kind of a given. In order to replace 2 parents, you need 2.1 children. Like a mother and a father, a mother and a mother and a father. Like you just use an extra fucking word for no reason.
you consider outside factors, like other families not choosing to have kids,
Which
premature
mother and
death,
father
so a
can't
child
actually have
sadly
kids.
passing
You have to
away,
adopt,
and
which is
to
not the same.
balance out the gender ratio, since there are naturally more boys born than girls, which I had no clue about, and I'm actually quite upset to hear that, because if I have kids, I better have at least 1 girl, and I don't want the numbers against me, but it sounds like the numbers are against me, just like everything else in this damn world. Now, you might be thinking,
I hate when people do this, and I mentioned this to Sophia earlier when people are talking about statistics. They only talk about the statistic and then they go off and make their own point, which is not in relation to the statistic. The reason why naturally as humans, women are more likely to give birth to a boy than a daughter, which, listen, it's like a 0.5%. Literally, for every 100 girls, there's 105 boys. It's not that big of a gap, but it balances itself out because when you look at different types of chromosomal disorders specifically, for example, a woman can be a carrier of a chromosomal disorder, but a man, you either have that disorder or you don't. Because of the way how, especially when it's disorders that are dealing with the XY chromosome specifically, because this doesn't apply to Down syndrome. You either have Down syndrome or you don't, and it's not really like, oh, your parent. It's just a chance because it's literally just a mutation in the chromosome pair 21. Yes, your nigga does know how to read. But yeah, a lot of birth defects that do deal with the XY chromosome, women have double X chromosomes, which means they have full DNA for the 23rd pair, while men have XY chromosome. The Y is just like a recessive chromosome. So if there's any chromosomal disorder that is attached to one of the X chromosomes in women, women need two corrupted X chromosomes for them to have the chromosomal disorder. But a guy who only has one X chromosome, if you have the disorder, you have the disorder. You can't be a carrier. You either have it or you don't, because the Y chromosome barely has any DNA. So that's a part of the reason why. Also, in addition to that, because of our behavior naturally in nature from birth, men are more aggressive, men are more likely to do risky things, men are more likely to die. And you can say whether or not it has something to do with the X or Y chromosome, maybe because we have a recessive gene in the Y chromosome that we're more likely to do those behaviors because, we're going to fucking die anyways. Like, it could be something like that. Like, it's a feedback loop in a sense. What came first? The lack of the X chromosome or the aggressive behavior? Who fucking knows?
To yourself, Annie, you said that the US has a birth rate of 1.6. That is not 2.1. That's just not. It's not mathing. And you are totally right, Samantha. If there's a Samantha watching this video, go comment. And that is why lots of people, most of them being men with podcasts, are freaking the hell out. With the current trajectory of 1.6 kids per couple, each generation will become 23% smaller than the previous one. So with the fourth generation, you could reach a population with half the size of the original one. And with the US's case, a population of 171 million people instead of 342 million. That is, of course, if the birth rate stayed the exact same throughout all of those years. Now, you might be looking at that population number of 171 million and be thinking to yourself, oh, that's not that bad. It's still a lot of people. Plus, don't we have an overpopulation issue anyways with climate change and all of that jazz? And you'd be right. Benjamin, if there's a Benjamin watching this, go comment your name. We definitely do have an overpopulation issue because scientists claim that the Earth can only sustain around 2.5 billion people.
Yeah,
in that case, we are way over budget. That's like knowing that you should buy a used 2008 Honda Civic, but instead purchasing a Porsche 911. And this is exactly where the polarization starts. You have one side that thinks a population decline would be worse than unsustainable growth, and another side that thinks unsustainable growth would be worse than a population decline. So let's take a look at both sides, starting with pro-population increase. I really hope this is making sense so far. To understand where people come from on this side of the spectrum, let's take a look at where their trauma comes from. Wow, you sound like a therapist. I really should be getting paid more for this. I'm sure that you've heard of China's one-child policy, a law that was set in place from the 1980s all the way until 2015. So basically yesterday. Literally, that was yesterday. Oh my god, that was a decade ago. And just as the name
More
entails,
than a decade
you
ago,
were
actually.
only allowed to have uno children during this era. And the consequences, if you did have another child, were quite extreme. Parents were forced to pay a heavy fine called a social maintenance fee, which, oh my god, that name is so dystopian. I absolutely hate that. Guys, what the hell? How did we not see this as a bad thing? Which usually equated to a year or more of a family's annual...
Yo, Yo, what? That kind of explains why China is kind of the way it is. Sophia, imagine me and you having a kid, right? And we're only allowed to have one kid. But then we accidentally get a second one. We both have to pay the government 1 year's worth of our wage.
No, I would move across the globe.
For that one kid. So it's like,
I would move across the globe.
I gotta pay you. But that's retarded.
Nobody's gonna know.
But that's just retarded. Like, you have a kid and now we're gonna make you poor.
Then I'll just give up the kid.
But you already committed a crime. Like, you're not just gonna get an abortion.
But I'm gonna kill the baby.
Income. Let's imagine that you accidentally got pregnant with the second
tell you,
child.
I'm gonna go
Whoopsies.
broke.
And then you had to give up all of your money that you
Like,
made
what?
within a
No,
year.
no, no.
Like, how could you possibly
You said you're just gonna
survive?
kill the
That would
baby?
totally put you out.
What's what's option F? Like, how could I prove prostate?
I don't know. The other option is just leave. That's probably what a bunch of people did that came to America. They probably had another child, and they're like, "Oh fuck, I can't stay here. I'm gonna give birth in America." That's probably exactly what happened.
Yeah.
On the streets, unless somehow you had a whole year's worth
Or
of
not even
rainy
America,
day
but just
funds.
somewhere
I think
else.
with that type of punishment, I would become a holy
Especially
nut,
Jamaica.
and
We got
I
a
would
lot of
never
Chinese
do
people in
the deed
Jamaica.
ever again. Other punishments included a loss of social services for the child
And
born,
you don't
which
have
meant that
social
they could not
services,
legally
so you
access
can't-
state-level education
They can't
or
go
even
to school
healthcare, which is
or
completely
get
mind-blowing
healthcare.
to me because it's not like the child
kid?
called up
Yeah,
the parents
the
and was
second
like, Yo,
kid. The
you
first
gotta,
kid
like,
can get all
illegally
of
get
it,
me
but
on
the
this
second
planet,
kid
bro.
can't
Like,
get it.
please, I'm begging of you, please. It's not the
Yeah,
child's
yeah.
fault that they were born, but
everyone's
they're the
like,
ones
no,
getting
you're gonna go
punished
up
for this and will
this
basically
fucking
live
foster
a life
system.
cut off from
I don't
the
even
rest
think
of
they have a
society
foster
because
system
of
like
it.
that in
And
China.
in some very extreme cases, mothers were
Probably
either
just get
forced
shipped off to America.
undergo abortion or,
Or another country.
sterilization.
You know those big
I feel like
cargo
that's how
boats?
the far right
Shut up.
views
That's
You
what
think
I
they have
know.
left.
babies in
That
them?
we're just like forcing
There's
everyone
no
to
way.
abort
I
their
know one location that probably has multiple orders. So why are you smiling?
That's not-
Cheese pizza, please.
child left to
Don't
right.
laugh.
Well, after all of this effort that the Chinese government put into this, it turns out that forcing people to only have
Horny.
one
I
child
made a new video.
screws up your country
Bro, load out.
in the
I'm
long
sorry,
run.
I-
Because today, China is now
It is
facing
past your
a
bedtime.
population
Watch, please.
decline,
Bro.
with a birth rate of
Like
about
5 videos of
1%.
French
And now
Yeah.
the government
Like, bro,
is
cool it
desperately
down.
trying
Two,
to
actually.
undo
Load out,
what
dead
they
ass.
did, offering families
I would be like, that's the last video I'm gonna watch.
No, not even that's the last video I'm gonna watch. But like, bro, you can't just be spamming because YouTube will say it's spam and not show anybody your stuff. Like, stop spamming.
compensation.
Like, literally save the video and post it tomorrow, bro. You don't gotta post everything today.
for having
He
a
posted, like,
child. That's
over
the
30
craziest
videos
Uno
today.
reverse card. But what's the big deal with
Today.
this declining
Yeah, he's not gonna
birth
get
rate?
it.
Because China does have a declining birth rate of 1.4 people. I mean, that is exactly why
1.4
they
billion.
implemented the one-child policy. They were worried about their rising population. Well,
Now
for
you have a
starters,
bunch of
the first
geriatric
issue that
people in
China
China.
faces is the 4-2-1
In Japan.
rule, which is an issue where the one child born under China's policy has to eventually take care of their 2 parents and their 4
That's
grand.
fucked up. I would kill. Yo, I see why them niggas in China and Japan be fucking jumping and shit. The way how it works in China. I posted 13 yesterday. Oh my god. Yeah, no, you need to cool it. Under the one child rule, you're expected to take care of your 2 parents and your 4 grandparents when they get older.
Yo, why are my grandparents crippled and dead already? Like, what the fuck am I gonna take care of all 4 of them? Die! I'll take care of my parents, but my grandparents, that's when they have kids. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, but their kids are too old now, so
That's
you.
unfortunate. That's really
But it's
unfortunate.
just stupid. Like you have
Like-
you implement the one child rule because these are 2 one children. It's one child, one child, one child, one child. Both couples have one child, and now the couple from the 4 up here has one child. So the one child's just gonna always be fucked because you have to take care of 6 people and you don't have any siblings to help you out.
China will not be seen.
But everybody's trying to convince us to go over there right
Okay,
now
I will
because
all
they.
by them.
You wanna know why? It's because of the fucking the population is declining, so they're trying to get people to move over there.
And isn't the rent cheap over there?
I don't know.
Selves.
Is it cheaper?
Because normally
Why
you would
people
have
go over there
siblings
to
or
cool
even
their ass
extended
off.
family like cousins and aunts and
China?
uncles to help you with
Yeah.
this. But with the
To
one child
goon?
policy,
Yeah.
there was no such
Yes.
thing as aunts and
What are you
uncles
gooning
and
to in
extended
China?
family
I don't know,
like
there's
that.
niggas
This
out
is
there.
Can you watch this
exactly
tomorrow on
what
stream?
worries people on this
Yeah.
side of the spectrum. Imbalance between elders and young people, with not enough
Yeah, if you have too many
youngsters
old
to
people-
take care of the
That's
growing
kinda what the
elderly
vote that America's in
population.
right now. I mean,
Since
can
with
you watch
every
them
new
tomorrow on
generation,
stream?
the
Yes, I can watch them
population
tomorrow
will
on stream.
decrease, like we talked about earlier. This means that the older generation, also the earlier ones that were from a while ago, will be in bigger numbers than the smaller generation. And if elderly people could somehow match
But yeah, I think this is the problem that's happening in America, which is why the economy is the way it is. Because it's like all the people that have money are the old fuckers, so they keep giving us shittier and shittier wages. but we have to do more and more fucking work so they can stay alive. Like, imagine if every single nurse today just said "fuck you," like that works at a nursing home.
Magically take care of themselves before they die, then this wouldn't be an issue. But they can't, which means that the young generations have to spend their time and money to take care of their elders. And right now, people obviously already do this, but we currently have a lot more balance to it, with multiple kids in a family to help out. But with a
Which is
population
natural.
decrease, this
Okay, I'm
won't
gonna
be
watch
the
the movie
case,
now
and it
since
will put a
they've
lot
already
more
watched it,
strain
so see ya.
on our
Alright.
resources. Think of it like a pyramid scheme, which I never thought I would say that, but I think the analogy actually kind of works. If everything is running as normal, the elderly are at the top, the very smallest part of the pyramid, which means their population is smaller. And then under them is their kids, each generation bringing in the next generation in order to progress the system and eventually help take care of the top of the pyramid. But with a population decrease, this will become an inverted pyramid scheme, with the tip of the triangle, the children, being at the very bottom, holding up the whole entire thing. Not very sustainable, is it? Both the elders and the children will be screwed over because it will drain resources from the young ones, and the elders will not be able to get proper support. Now, the thing that worries mostly corporate America is the lack of able-bodied employees. If we lose majority of a young population...
Okay. You know, you can wanna phrase it. Let me show my pretty face. You can phrase it as corporate America wants more workers, but that's not corporate America. That's just the general infrastructure. Because being an able-bodied person doesn't only work in corporate America. If you don't have able-bodied people work in public service, that's not fucking corporate America. Imagine every single security guard everywhere you go, or every single fucking police officer is like 50 plus years old. And then there's a big generational gap, right? Because there's a big chunk of time where people didn't have kids. So you have a bunch of 60-plus-year-old police officers and, like, the people who are more likely to commit crimes and shit. Early to mid-20s, or, like, in high school. But no, corporate America. Like, this is a time where I'm like, okay, sometimes you can... Yes, corporate America as a whole are fucking like a Satanist cabal in a sense. Like, they just suck from the fucking the masses. Yeah, I understand that. But don't make it sound like there's not different facets of society that won't crumble. Don't just say it's corporate America. Because when you say corporate America, it's like, oh yeah, stop having kids. We're going to give it to the man in corporate America. No, you're going to give it to the man every fucking where. Or you won't be giving it to them because they're dead, because they're old and gone. Like, you think there's going to be boomers in the next 30 years? Like, that's what I'm looking forward to. Next 15, 20, maybe in the next 5, 10 years. Boomers? What the fuck's a boomer? You mean the Gen Xers? Damn, Gen X is going to be the next boomers. I don't think I want that either. That sucks.
And there will be
Gen Xers are the ones that created
workforce.
millennials.
And to people like Elon Musk, this
Or no,
is
Gen
exactly
Xers are the
what
one that created
nightmares
Gen
are made
Z.
of. Because without a workforce, there won't be consumerism. Guys, it all comes back to capitalism. The economy depends on growth. We've built a system that requires everything to continue growing.
You doing your toes?
Because if it doesn't grow, it falls. Which, of course, would lead to an economic decline. But, on the other hand, if we were to ask the planet what it thought about an economic decline, I'm sure it wouldn't mind a few less squishies being made in factories producing carbon, you know?
I don't hate
But this side of the spectrum thinks that economic decline would be worse than a climate decline. It is good for us, in some senses, to have a growing economy. It means that there are more innovations and progress
she has a good stance on that argument.
Usually living
because less
people
would definitely make the climate a little bit better.
We got modern medicine and all these other advancements.
Like, less people in general would make the climate, because less people, less cars driving on the road. Yeah, I can't say anything against that. Like, I like to argue, but like, I know when I should just shut the fuck up and listen.
Was growth. But at the end of the day, it depends.
But that's when the other side is actually making sense.
is. If your goal is to keep money coming in, then yes, a population growth would be ideal, because the more babies you have, it means more future workers and more future consumers. All right, that's enough
Yeah,
of
that's
that.
a good
Let's
point.
jump over to the other side.
Low birth rate, that threatens their profits and influence.
You know how hard you need to abuse a mammal to make them not have children?
I think that human beings will have a better chance of survival on this planet with fewer of us occupying it.
The main consensus is that a population decline would not be as bad as people make it out to be, and if anything, could be a little beneficial. And just like for the last group, I'm going to be this group's personal therapist and explain where this trauma might be coming from. Growing up, we've all been fed the issue that our population is just way too big, and sooner or later, that is going to be our downfall, which is true. Like I said earlier, scientists estimate that our planet can only sustain a population of around 2.5 billion people if everyone were to...
Wait a minute. The gears are turning in my head, but I don't know if I should open my mouth. Most scientists, at some point in their lives, have some type of tie to Israel. So could they be purposefully trying to reduce the world population so we're closer to the 2.5 billion? Not suicidal, by the way.
to live within
Unless
ecological
I'm getting
limits and
drafted.
comfortable living standards. Essentially, not living above our means. And as you probably
In
know,
Call of Duty
we
4,
do quite
Modern
the
Warfare.
opposite of that as a species. Our planet has around 8.2 billion people on it right now, in this current moment. And while looking up this number, I stumbled across a website that updates the population every single second, and it's very strange to watch. To think that these are real human beings being born and dying every second is just kind of
that's kind of
mind
weird
exploding.
to watch.
So if you ever want a strangely
how do they
spiritual
accurately track
and
that?
low-key out-of-body experience, just go meditate to one of these websites. It'll definitely mess you up. Anyways, a lot of us also don't live under our means. There is a surprising statistic that I'm
Yeah,
shocked more
that's
people
true.
don't talk about, that the
I don't
wealthiest
think- I think I
10%
live at my
worldwide is responsible for around 50% of all carbon emissions. And when you look at that number, you might
Bomboclat. Yeah, because of the factories. That's crazy. According to this, the wealthiest of the population contributes to 50% of the carbon shit. While the richest 1% alone produces about 16%. The poorest half of humanity accounts for just 7 to 10%. I mean, it's the same thing with 99% of the economy is funded by the 1%. I forgot the what's it called? It's like reverse something theory. Or not theory. Theorem. Like when they say like 20% of the specific population is good, so the 80% goes for it. Like majority of people want the best thing, but the best thing encompasses the majority. Like Jeff Bezos owns all the Amazons, but there's like one person that owns one Amazon type of thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Like one person owns a store, but Jeff Bezos owns all the stores. Or like thousands of people only own one store. But Jeff Bezos owns millions of them.
around 50% of all carbon emissions. And when you look at that number, you might assume that that means the ultra wealthy who are driving their luxury vehicles, flying in private planes, and heating up their multi-million-dollar mansions. But no, it's actually you and I. Because to reach the top 10% of earners globally, you only need an income of around $45,000 a year.
shit.
So
Never mind. The top. So me and you together are technically a part of the top 10% of wealthiest people in the world. Compared to niggas who literally only have a loincloth in fucking Africa.
It's insane.
Yeah, like as a world population, majority of American citizens are in the 10%. Damn, I learned something new today. Loving this video. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
Let me give it a like.
Take a look in the mirror. We're the reason that our planet is suffering. Earth cannot keep up with the way in which we are using resources. It cannot support even today's demand without major changes, with our findings showing that we are pushing the planet harder than it can possibly cope, says Professor Bradshaw from the Global Ecology Laboratory in the College of Science and Engineering. So it's reasonable to assume that with a population decline, there would be a decline in carbon emissions as well. Along with that, we wouldn't be putting such a strain on natural resources that cannot easily be replenished. Just look at oil and gas, which is a finite resource that takes millions of years for the planet to produce.
Welcome back.
We are going
this is
through
Helen, right?
that resource at such
Oh,
a
no.
fast pace that it's projected that we only
God
have
damn it, I
around
forgot
50
which name
more
this
years
is.
of
I
it.
hate
So
when you
within our
guys change your
lifetime,
damn
we will
names.
have
Oh, yeah,
to
Helen.
see
Okay, I
renewable
did
energy
remember.
come to play if we want to continue being here and supporting our current lifestyle, or whether or not corporations want that. Another benefit of population decline would be more opportunities to those who are already here on the planet. And we would most likely see a lowered cost of living since
That's
there
true.
would not be as much overall demand, making things even cheaper, which I'm sure sounds absolutely lovely. And there would also most likely be a
Cyberpunk
shift of
future
power
is what
to
I'm
the
hearing.
workers, since companies wouldn't have an infinite supply of drones to pick from, and instead there would always be jobs available. So companies would have to offer more money and benefits to compete for you and your time.
I'm going to
These
leave
are
though
things
because
that
I'm
we
going to
don't
the gym
see
in the
very
morning.
much in
Hey, yo.
today's world, and that's because we have
Once you
more
start,
people
don't
than
ever
we do
stop.
resources,
Go to the gym in
which
the
is
morning.
exactly
I didn't go today
why
because I'm a
people
fat
don't
bitch.
want to have kids in the
But I
first
might go
place.
tomorrow.
So many couples will tell you, why would I want to bring a
But I
child
do be
into
standing
a
for
world
12
that
hours
is
a day, so I
facing
think I
all
got
of
my.
these problems?
I think I got
Their
my.
quality of life probably won't be too good and might not
My
make
activity
it worth
levels
it for
up.
them. This is
But I
why,
don't wanna
at
lose
least
my
in the
muscle.
US, we
So
are
I still
seeing
gotta
a decline,
do some type of
especially
training,
among
which
Gen Z, who
calisthenics.
is getting to the age
As soon as
of
I get my money,
parenthood. Although
I'm gonna
not all of us,
probably get
because
some more
it does
equipment.
range from ages 14 to
Or not
29,
even
and
equipment, it's
thankfully we
literally
have
just one
seen
thing.
a
Really.
drop in teenage pregnancy by 70%
The only
since
reason
the
I'm going
90s.
is
So that's
they
good.
gotta
But the
eat a
problem
pool and I got
is
a new
teens
swimsuit.
and young adults.
Oh wow, so you're
From
not even
ages
hitting the
15
gym.
to 19,
Shake
the
my hand.
fertility rate is down 7%, and it's down 70% over the last 2 decades, meaning we're telling people that are young not to have babies, to wait till they're in a more stable life situation.
But the elders of Gen Z are questioning of whether or not it's worth it to bring a child into today's world, especially with the internet that lets people share the pros and cons of parenthood. Just open TikTok and you will see a plethora of people talking about what it's like to have kids. People point a lot of fingers at the girl with the list for encouraging people to abstain from having children. And if you
I'm
don't
gonna
know
actually
who this
work out a
iconic
little bit,
figure
but I'm really
is,
just
don't
going to
worry, I
swim.
got
Hey,
you.
swimming is
Abigail
working out.
is a TikTok creator who has a series called The List, where she has made over 275 videos about all of the reasons she does not want to have.
The funny thing is, she's talking about this girl, but there's a girl that I was friends with in college, which I'm using the word friend as just we were in the same friend group. I don't think there was ever a moment where me and her really had a heart-to-heart conversation. On her TikTok page right now, she has like over 700 reasons why she will never have kids, like on her notes app. And I'm just like, bitch, as a grown ass woman, you're taking time out of your day to tell a bunch of niggas on the internet why you're not gonna have kids. One reason is enough. We don't give a fuck. Okay, you're not having kids. Like, okay, cool. Bye, bitch.
Kids. It's become such a thing that on basically any video where someone is talking about their pregnancy or a child is misbehaving, there will be at least one commenter saying, "Where's the girl with the list?" And she gets a decent
Literally.
amount of backlash for supposed fear mongering, but her audience would disagree, saying that she is simply educating the masses and that women deserve to know what they are signing up for. I mean, pregnancy and having a child is a massive commitment. Most likely the most massive commitment you'll ever make in your whole life, because you can
Okay, this is the part where I hate that it's the default to hate having children. Getting pregnant and having a baby is a massive commitment. You know what else is a massive commitment too? Getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to go to fucking college to get a degree. I'm not even saying if it's a good or bad degree. You're starting off with debt. What would you rather? Be pregnant and have a baby that might misbehave if you don't pay attention to it? Or be 100,000 in debt? Because 100,000 in debt can turn into 200,000 in less than fucking 20 years, nigga. And if you can't pay off the 100,000 to begin with, who the fuck is gonna pay off 200,000? But I'd rather be in debt than have kids.
divorce your husband, you can sell your home, but you can't really just throw your child onto the street, as much as you probably wish you could. And this is why there is most likely a correlation between more educated women and less children. Because in reality, having kids is hard as hell. And throughout history, it has
It's
been
hard as hell to be in
expected
debt
of
and have a
women to
job
have
too.
Children.
Just
And
pick which
if
one
anything,
you want to
people
be
are
in.
shamed
Which I
for
know which
not
one I'd rather
having
have.
kids, claiming that women are only worthy
Well, it
if
doesn't
they're
apply
a
to me.
mother, which is absolutely ridiculous. But now that it's 2026
by default, I
and we
should
all
have a
have
fucking
access
career.
to the internet, that is not the story. At least most of the time. There definitely are some shamers out there still, though. We've done a pretty good job at normalizing being childless. And this is great. You should not feel pressured into having children because society says so. This will just create an awful environment for you and your child because
I 100% agree with her. If you fully, down to your core, do not want to have children, don't. Because we don't need more shitty parents. Like, it's one thing to talk about, oh, we have too many kids. I think having shitty parents... we can pick it back to what we were watching earlier. Having shitty parents is worse than having kids. Because shitty parents make shitty kids. Carmelo fucking Anthony. I rest my fucking case.
lots of resentment will be built up over time because of it. I am such a strong believer that if you don't want a kid, you definitely should not have a kid, because most likely that wouldn't make you a very great parent. Leave that up to people who do want children, because everyone around you will be better off.
But you see, that's the thing. Let people have children. People who don't want to have children shouldn't have children. The problem is we have a growing population of people trying to convince other people not to have, like, shut the fuck up. Oh, I don't want to have kids. Okay, shut the fuck up. You don't. You don't. Cool. The conversation's over. You don't want to have kids. Cool. Oh, you should. Why the fuck you telling me what I should do? I don't tell you where you should park your dick, nigga. Shut the fuck up.
That way. But even for people who do want kids, it's kind of mission impossible in today's world. First off, you gotta find a decent partner. And that's easier said than done. Talk to most people who are single, and they will tell you that there are no good options out there. Even some people in relationships will tell you that, knowing that they're dating a ding-dong. And obviously, this is a pretty big roadblocker for starting a family. And yes, you could start a family on your own. You could totally become a single parent right off the bat. But not everyone loves this idea.
Having kids because nobody's good out there?
Huh?
What, they're not having kids because nobody's good out there?
I mean, it's hard to have a kid when you don't even have a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
Duh. You can't just make it by yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh, all the men are bad. Oh, all the bitches are bad. Yeah. That's another reason why we don't like each other. So, in order to have a kid, you have to like someone.
You attract what you are. Like, I go by that every fucking day.
There you go. Spoken from the horse's mouth. I didn't even tell her to say that.
If you're a shitty person, guess what you're gonna attract? Shittier people. So boom.
Look at that. Look at that. And she just turned 20, guys. Big brain.
No, like, that's common sense, though. Like, especially if you treated people like shit throughout your years. Trust me, something bad is gonna happen to you. One way or another. Whether you have a badass ruthless kid that does not listen to you, or it might not be something you're stupid, so pick your poison.
Damn.
Like, as crazy as that sounds, it's reality. Bitches are stupid. Bitches will trap a nigga, not want the kid, get mad that they have the kid, The nigga doesn't want either of them. And guess what they're gonna do with the kid? Abandon them and treat them like shit. Because guess what? They don't have the nigga. That's what bitches are doing. Raising kids to make the nigga stay, and when the nigga doesn't want to stay, they abandon the kid. Like, make it make sense.
Damn. Sophia should start her own YouTube channel, guys, but she's too shy for it.
Yes, and I probably end up getting canceled, so I don't have time for that.
You're gonna, babe, can you help me record my apology video?
Oh yeah, I will not apologize. I said what I said. I can't go back in time and fucking reverse the video, like.
It's like, guys, I made severe lapses in my judgment. No, I didn't. I said what I fucking said, nigga. You're gonna delete it off the internet for me?
Bitch, I don't have a time traveling machine. I can't reverse back what I said. So I said what I said, and that's not.
Yeah, because as they say, it takes a village to raise a child, and
But
usually
watch
it
the
would be
video and
ideal
let me
if the
know.
responsibility of a child.
Ooh, that line hit. It takes a village to raise a child. So on top of people not liking each other
It does.
to get into a relationship, people don't even have friends. So who the fuck are you gonna leave the kids with?
It's not even just friends.
But
They
like family
have
members.
a good support system. Like they thoughty ass mama. Let's see. The narcissistic ass grandma that's about to die in like 20 seconds. Like, come on now, let's really talk about it. Black families have toxic households. And
Okay, wait, whoa. Why you gotta bring up black families specifically?
Because let's really talk about it.
I don't think it's just black families. I think it's
well, from what I've seen.
From what you. Yeah, but it's common in black people because the environment made it that way. You take the father out of the household, the same shit you just said. If there's no father in the household, there's no relationship in the household between a man and a woman. Just like if there's no mother in the household, it's not necessarily, oh, there's no dad. There's no relationship between the parents. So you have one parent, that's already a relationship that's missing. And with that, that's your entire dad side of the family missing too. So that's half of the village gone. And that's a lot of the people in the black community. Nowadays, with the internet, the shit that's happening in the black community is happening everywhere. That's why now it's more common to hear about white families doing the same shit that black families be doing to their kids. Especially more so. It's just so with the black families, it's like, oh, it's been going on for years, so we expect it. But like, you be hearing on the news how these white kids be killing people. And you look at the parents, dad's eyes glossed over, and the mom is just a fucking bitch. That's not a loving relationship between the parents now, is it? Exactly. So it's not just a black community thing. It started in the black community.
Okay, Keyshawn, I see you defending people.
Yeah. Like, I talk shit about black people, but I'm not gonna sit here and just act like it came out of fucking nowhere. Like, there's a reason for it.
Okay, I see you.
Could land on multiple people instead of just one. And not to bring in another statistic, but marriage rates are also declining, with a 60% drop.
Marriage rates are declining. No more kids.
I personally think this is kind of a good thing, but that's because
which I agree with that. If the marriage rate is going down, the birth rate better be going down, because I don't want more fucking people be growing up. I don't have a mommy. I don't have a daddy. Like, no, fuck that shit.
I have kind of a fear of getting married.
Like, my parents got
divorcing. I think I just got traumatized from my mom. Love you, Mom. But on top of that, only 30% of young adults aged 22 to 35
She literally just said, I got that trauma from my mom. Thank you, Mom.
Reporting a fatigue from modern dating with the apps and all of that jazz, and frustrations for the classic marriage and kid pipeline. And I'm going to be biased here and say something that might bother the men watching this, so plug your ears if you are of the male species. This one's just for the girls. Guys suck, y'all. Like, how are y'all doing?
I knew this part of the video was gonna come. She said, the male population, plug your ears. This is for the ladies. Guys suck.
This, like, I actually don't know. They stinky, they smelly, and I know I'm saying this because I'm a girly pop, and of course I think that guys suck, but literally, they low-key do. You don't got a lot of good options out there. Okay, now let's...
that gave me the ick. Guys suck because there's not a lot of good options out there. Look at yourself relative to the people around you. There is someone on your level that is compatible with you. You just keep look. That's the whole problem. And that it goes both.
Bird brain, like they just think, oh.
It goes both ways though. Let's say what you were saying.
I said bitches are just too bird brain.
It's like you can get a nigga on your level, and by you and him being together, you guys as a couple are gonna be elevated versus you guys as one individual person in the beginning.
But at the same time, you know what bitches want nowadays?
They just want a father.
No.
They want a nigga.
Bitch, they want like
What?
some trick ass nigga.
They just want a father, because not to say what a trick is, but like how describe a trick and describe a dad. The same thing. In terms of like what the girl gets out of it. You get someone to take care of your problems for you, and you just ask them, and they give it to you at any moment.
Yeah.
That's essentially what a dad is. No questions asked. Because you don't fuck your dad.
I think that's reasonable.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why you get a trick. A nigga that spends money on you that you don't have to have sex with. That's basically
But then what if
getting
they do want to have sex?
Then that's where it's like weird. That's where bitches get into the problems that they get into. You're using a nigga for his money. Now when he's asking for coochie, you shouldn't have asked him to begin with. Because you know he's gonna expect it at some point. Like, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You're taking something from a nigga willingly.
That's why you're annoying the first time.
What do you mean? No?
I was joking.
It's different. Being nice and then expecting something is different than you straight up asking me. Because in the beginning, you'd ask me for shit and I straight up told you no. You're like, Kishon, can you buy me this? I was like, the fuck? Why don't you ask your nigga?
Because you were my nigga.
Not yet.
You know, Keyshawn, being respectful, like saying I wasn't ready, being blunt my pussy.
We're gonna clip that part out. I'm gonna cut that part out. Actually, where's my scissors? We're just gonna. We just clipped it. It's out.
Pretend that you overcame this hurdle and somehow
Yeah,
found a partner that you want to raise a family with. Well, now what? Because you can't even afford it. Oh, the cost of living is so high. That's because it friggin' is high. The boomers just don't understand. They don't get it. If you are having a hard time keeping up with the bills while having dual income and only two mouths to feed, how in the world are you supposed to add more mouths to the equation? It just doesn't make sense. You're going to end up in the negatives. When you have a kid, you are forced to choose between two options.
11,
Number
22,
one, giving up
23.
your job and therefore losing that income to take care of the child every day. And number two being to send them to childcare. That will cost you at least $1,000 a month.
This is another thing I was talking about with she's doing a good thing talking about both sides of the issue, but she's doing first order thinking because two people being in a relationship together makes more money. Like it's a statistical significant thing. Couples, regardless if both of them are working, earn 30% more than being a single person. You know what I mean? But because everybody's single, they're just thinking, oh, I'm single, this is my income, I can't afford a child. But you're telling me two people working together, or maybe one person working extra while the other one is supporting for a short amount of time.
I feel like that's common sense though, like... It's
common sense, but me. I don't have money, I don't want to have kids. I'm only thinking about me. Why am I going to think about another bitch if I'm broke? I'm only thinking about myself. But if people are in relationships, it's like, okay, we're broke together. Let's do something about it.
If not more. Most likely more. You're lucky if you're getting it for $1,000 only. And that's for one kid, by the way. Just one kid costs $1,000. You also need a bigger home, preferably one that you actually own. That way your child has a more stable upbringing and isn't bouncing back all over the place. So depending on what state you're living in,
marriage was a way to own property.
I feel like my toes look long. I don't like it.
And that costs around $2,000 for a 2-bedroom home.
$2,000 for a 2-bedroom home for 2 grown-ass adults with 2 grown-ass adult jobs. That is fucking... Oh my god, that is so out of the realm of the cards. Like,
home. You also need to provide health care for your children, which will probably be a few $100s extra every month. Oh, and don't forget, you need to feed them. I mean, they can't just starve under your care, then you'll be sued for neglect. And once they realize that food is yummy, like the rest of us, they will eat literally everything they see. So expect your grocery bill.
Kids will eat too much food, so they're expensive. Feed them correctly and don't give in to when they don't need to eat the extra bullshit junk food that I be seeing these fucking moms of fat kids be doing. Like, oh yeah, we're going to the grocery store, but I made sure to get you 5 different types of Oreos. Not a single fucking apple or banana in the cart.
Or like freezer food, like what? But you can't whip up something in the kitchen?
Yeah, like everything is Tyson chicken nuggets.
Or like corn dogs.
Yeah. And you're gonna complain, kids are too expensive.
Like,
Bitch, buy some chicken, buy some rice. Boom. That's food for a week.
The kids are fat, like.
And your kid being fat, they're gonna eat
have
more.
diabetes at a young age. Like, you're giving them all this shit.
And that shit's not even cheaper. It's just more convenient.
Like buying meat and whipping something up yourself.
You're looking at spending roughly $350,000 to raise one child from birth to 18.
Exactly.
And that's if you're lucky enough that they move out right away. So the question is, can you afford that? Most likely no, especially with all of these rising costs. I don't even drive myself places because of gas prices, and so I couldn't imagine picking up little Timmy from school every day and then driving him around to all of his after-school programs and to see his best friend and blah blah blah. Okay, so we've gone over
Because of how expensive cars and gas is, you can't imagine your kid picking up your kid from school, driving them to their after-school program. That's another thing that I think.
Or possibly.
No, let me finish. I think that's another thing with the whole like America, the modern America, and kids. Why are you driving your kids around everywhere? Nigga can't have a bicycle?
Or a school bus? Like, oh my god.
No, not even a school bus, but like nigga can't have a bicycle? Your kid can't have some adventure? No, you're outside of school? I'm coming to pick you up. I'm gonna drop you off there. Oh, you're done there? Okay, you're coming. Like, your kid can't have no type of freedom to socialize. That's why a bunch of people are fucking retarded. You don't give them any type of freedom to go anywhere without their parents. Yeah. Well, antisocial, retarded. If you're antisocial, you can't integrate into society. So, same thing. You're cold over there?
It's hotter than a motherfucker.
It's probably because the fan's off and the lights are on. And I'm also streaming. Why was that shit set to like 70 something?
It was on Eco.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very, very cold out.
all of my bullet points. Now what? Well, I don't know. Because,
Of course
to be
you
honest
don't
with
know.
you, I see the pros and cons in both situations. I would hate for our planet to face the 4-to-1 issue. I also would
The
love
4 to
to
1
have
issue
kids,
sounds
but
terrible.
realistically speaking, I am worried about what that might bring, since we are in a time of uncertainty with our climate and economy. I feel like either way you go with this, there are going to be downsides, and so it's a matter of—
And another thing with this argument too, it's young people having it. Like girls your age and also guys your age aren't thinking about having kids because you're young. But every single woman at some point in their life, unless you're one of those freaking Natasha Romanoff, no fucking uterus, I will never have children, I'm me and my lineage dies with me woman. People aside from that, at some point when you hit like 28, 30, it would be nice to have kids and settle down. You know, I did all this hard work. You know, I want to have that soft life now.
Yeah, when you're 30, and then by the time you're 60, your child's gonna be just graduating high school. Good fucking fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like, once you're 30,
50.
bitch, once I'm 30, I don't plan on popping out any more fucking kids. My breeding era is 20 through 27.
Oh.
After 28, 29, 30, I'm not busting no more kids, bro. I'm already fucking old.
Okay,
Already going through
loud and clear.
menopause.
You heard that, chat? 20 to 27. How old are you? Okay then. Okay then. I'm 24. I'm about to be 25. I'm getting to the age where, you know, oh, I have a little kid. Kind of doesn't sound too awkward.
Damn, if you're 24 and you got a chick.
My mom had me at 25.
And then what age was she on the first one?
16, 17.
Okay then.
Yeah, but I'm saying I was the last one. She's just like you.
But you see, good for her. I'm pretty sure her
She
eggs
said-
were ripe and healthy.
Of which one
I mean,
you
my egg
prefer.
probably
Because
was a
we've
little
gotten
bit cracked.
ourselves into a situation where the only place from here is down. Anyway, this is where I open the discussion to you. Please let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about the matter because I feel like there really
Instead
is
of
no
putting
right
my
or
thoughts down
wrong
below, I made an
answer for
entire
this.
video.
At least that's what I've taken away from it. But I want to thank you guys.
God damn it, I lost a subscriber as soon as I got one. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep now. Anyways, that's the end of this video. So I have two options. I can A, be like, okay, on Mondays I watch videos and that's the entire stream, and then tomorrow I'm gonna be playing games. Or I could play games right now. But I don't feel like it. So that's probably exactly what I'm gonna do. Or tomorrow will be more focused on me playing a game and then maybe watching one video. But I think I've watched enough to have about a week, at least a week's worth of stuff to post. I don't know which one I'm going to post first though, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining the Kishi Wishi Club. I have been streaming for 3 hours and 27 minutes. Jesus Christ. Going to bed.